This is the trigger warning for our show. Please understand that various monsters had various victims and hunted in various ways depending on the folklore, mythology, or stories that were told about them. Please understand that it is not our intent to upset you. You will be given other warnings and additional warnings depending on the episode, but this is our blanket statement. We didn't write the myths, but we are using them to tell our story. Also, this is the content warning for our show. There will be cursing. There will be some interesting ideas. We will take it in where we can, but be warned, there was beer involved.
What if I told you there is a world where not only are monsters like vampires and werewolves real, but they have rights, just like you and me. And in this world, there exists a secret government organization dedicated to keeping you safe and making sure they follow the rules. Welcome to Anarium, a Monster of the Week podcast.
Hey everybody, welcome back. It's Cameron, again, your favorite neighborhood podcaster guy, back with a new episode of Anarium, the second episode in our little mini arc, just featuring Rob and myself. So I hope you're enjoying it so far. Again, this is something that started because Taylor wasn't available and we weren't going to go on with the main storyline without him. So he's back in the fold, and we just wanted to give you these episodes because they were fun to make, and we wanted them to be canon, and we didn't want them to just go into the can. So enjoy. This is a little mini arc that we put a lot of work into, and I hope you guys enjoy it as much as we did making it. Does that make sense? Oh well. Enjoy.
Welcome back to Anarium. I am your keeper, Sam. This is my world, built with friends and loved ones over the years, given life by Michael Sands, Monster of the Week, powered by the Apocalypse. Good system, check it out. I am here today, much like last episode, with my two good friends who are playing their characters. They are
Cameron Baker, and I play Bernard, and it's not just me. I do have someone else here.
No, it's just him. It's just I'm not even here. I'm a ghost.
And he says he has somebody else there, but I am roughly 1,500 miles
That's
away
true.
in Denver, Colorado.
You are always in my
I'm
heart,
going to
Rob.
poke a hole in anything Cameron has to say for the rest of eternity. I'm Rob Hamilton. I am one sexy motherfucker, and
I mean, that's what his mom tells him, so we just go along with it. That's what his Mima says.
Yep.
You're a sexy little one. You're a sexy motherfucker, and you're just going to take over the world.
I am the most delusional of all of us.
Oh, he is a handsome man. Someday you will see him, and you will know he is a handsome man. Real quick, don't want to bore you guys with it. Said it last time. Rate and review. If we're a 3-star podcast with rough edges that we could do better, but you like us enough to keep coming back, let the world know. We appreciate it. It's the only way we get any kind of audience. We've got 30 of you, and we appreciate the 30 of you that show up on a regular basis. We really do. We appreciate it.
Yeah, and we don't say that number to be like I'm stoked that we have 30 people
I am too.
that recurrently listen.
It's like
they
people
come back.
Because a lot of podcasts don't actually make you download anymore.
Yeah.
So you're streaming, but we really do appreciate it. It's more than I ever suspected.
Yeah.
Legitimately, it's already more than I honestly planned for, and so I really appreciate what you guys are doing. And if you guys like us and you want us to start getting into the weird additive stuff where special episodes and you show us how you want the world to grow, Cameron will give you our email address so you can shoot us an email and be like, hey, I really like this aspect of folklore. Could you check in on Greek mythology harpies? Can you deal with those? I really like those. Those are cool. Or, hey, we know
I want to
Troy's...
see Bernard shoot some of those.
Oh, I want to see Bernard kill a thing. I want to see Orpheus go, why are we killing them? And I want to see Marcellus brood in the corner and go, yes, we're killing them. Sorry, Taylor, you're not here to defend yourself. But, yeah, let us know. Shoot us an email.
please.
If it's, hey, I want to learn more about vampire hierarchy, or hey, I know Troy's a werewolf, but we don't know much about him. How's that work? I can bring that character back. If we start having side characters, and eventually we'll start having guests, and you really like that guest, be like, hey, I think he adds a lot to what this is. You should totally have them come back again sometime. We're going to have a rotating fourth seat. We all have friends that are interested, that want to support us, so you'll see some new names, maybe faces, depending on if we ever get like a Twitter or Facebook thing, or if that's what that guest wants. I respect privacy, of course, but we are going to get into our game. We left off last time. We found that Lothos, the head ghoul at the cemetery of St. Michael, hasn't been getting a ton of food recently. As cemeteries get older, they get used less. There's still monuments to our lost and how we show we care. We go and we visit. It's a lot of respect there, but it eventually comes a time where cemeteries have enough. They are at max capacity.
Yeah, no crunch.
Yeah, no crunch. You guys get that that's supposed to be the coffin, right? Like, I realize I'm talking to my audience because, like, me and my players have already done it, but I'm like, that's getting through the coffin to the food they eat is the crunch. Our players have headed off to a different cemetery, the confines of the Immaculate Dead. It is still an old cemetery, but newer with more ground, more new people. As people die, they have to go somewhere, and unfortunately, St. Michael's has filled up. I believe we were in the car on the way where we left off last, so let's jump in. Is there anything you guys want to talk about? Rob, do you want to answer the how you poop question, or do you just want to... Is that an off-the-scene thing?
Cliffhanger we left with, wasn't it?
Yeah, sorry if it's too much. Is it just kind of like does it just kind of fall off the leaves, or does it come out of your feet? Yeah, I don't know. Just curious.
Have you ever seen a tree take a shit, Bernard?
No, but I've seen some pretty spooky shit, man. A tree pooping would be the least weird thing I've seen in a while.
Does a tree shit in the woods?
Oh, if we make shirts, that might be.
That needs to be one of them.
Does a tree shit in the woods?
Does a tree shit in the woods?
That's the title of that last episode.
Like, yes. The front of the shirt is there was beer involved, and the back is like Swamp Thing popping a squat over a toilet, and it's just do tree shit in the woods.
I love it.
Can we make that actually happen now?
I have a friend.
Oh, yes.
If we can probably make that happen, at least for us. But all right, so you guys are going. You do arrive. The cemetery doesn't quite have the bones, pardon the pun, that St. Michael's does. It is newer. It's not 100 years old. It wasn't here when the city started. It is a newer cemetery when they realized, we need to make another cemetery. I'm not giving it a specific denomination. I kind of gave St. Michael's that it's a Catholic cemetery. I don't know the religious output of the world we're in as far as what Arkham has in it. So we're just going to kind of leave this one as kind of a non-denominational cemetery. You guys pull up, and the first thing you notice is that these gates, though not cold iron, are much more ornate. They put some money in these gates. And to Bernard's chagrin, there are gargoyle faces in the gate.
Of course.
As you pull up, they are staring at you with their snarl to keep evil away.
Yeah, I think he just kind of looks at him, and I don't know. Does Orpheus know?
He doesn't know anything you haven't told him. That's the one role playing with me. Nobody knows anything that you have not told them.
And I will not be meta about it.
Appreciate it. Okay. Meta will get you killed in my games. If I know you're playing to make sure you win, it's just going to get a lot harder.
Yeah. I think he just kind of looks at him. Like, and we don't have to stop. We just drive through, right? We don't have to stop.
Nope,
okay.
There's no stop. There's no buzz in. It's just they're there. You notice them as you go.
I just imagine a new cemetery like, hey, this is a new sleek open concept. Like some millennial with a side bun is like, yeah, this is the cemetery of the future, bruh.
So I just as we're driving in, just window down, arm hanging out, I think he just flips off the gargoyles' faces to his left and just drives through without even looking at them. Just finger out the window, drives.
And very much in character, Orpheus is gonna go, huh.
Huh.
Not gonna question Bernard. It's par for the course, but huh.
As you arrive, you are a little less familiar with this cemetery. Lothos has been around a while. That cemetery's been under Anarium's, we'll say, watch. That seems really negative, but it's just, nope, we keep an eye on them. We make sure they're okay. This place is newer. The ghouls here were not placed here. This was not a relocation program for them. They found this place kind of on their own. They followed proper procedure, and that they made sure someone knew that they were there, and that, hey, these are our confines. This is our territory, for lack of a better word. But this is where we're at. So be aware. As you guys go in, I'm going to need you kind of roll to investigate a mystery in order to actually figure out where their mausoleum entryway is.
Yeah, I had just pulled over the dice to myself because that's exactly where I was going.
That's sharp, correct?
Yes.
7.
5. My second 5.
Mike, mark that experience. I love this system for that, because even when you're failing, you're getting better, and it's so true to life that when you do something wrong, you go, "Oh, this is how I messed it up."
I had messed that up.
Life advice: the only mistake is something we don't learn from. Dad loves you, children.
Oh, yeah, I've done this.
Weird.
I have done this.
He's about to find out that he's got like 12 experience that he's just not used to spend on anything.
Well, it's like for some reason I have 3 marked, and then I have like a mark through that, like as if that was supposed to be 5, but it was only 4. But then there's 2 over here, just kind of floating, and there's 3 here.
Well, are those ones that you got in game, and then at the end of game you got 2 or 3 more?
Maybe.
And then you got those 2 at the end of a game, so they were a little bit separate. And then when you got your next experience, you marked it, you leveled up, and now you're sitting here with your 3 that you've gotten today, because I think you failed every rule you've done, and I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not sorry. It's fun for me,
This
but
is
still.
the 3rd one.
Don't just go making up experience now.
No, I'm saying this is the 3rd. I hadn't even done the 3rd one. That's why that was
Gotcha. All right, so you're close.
Well, and that's why. But then I saw those 2 floating over here, and I was like, well, wait. And then I realized that there were only 4 there instead of so. Okay, so I think I'm gonna have to go through and re-listen to everything and.
I mean, you're close.
Get
I
our
mean,
count.
you've had some failures. You're getting there.
I feel like you're selling shame wiles, but wait, there's more.
Yeah,
But wait,
there are.
there's
That's how my experience
more.
boards are. Like, oh, I have 5.
There's
No, but
more.
wait.
Oh,
Okay,
shit,
so
I've got 9. Whoa, okay.
We are not sponsored by Sham Wow. I just want to throw that out there.
Fair. You rolled your 7. So as you're looking around the cemetery, you're getting. Excuse me. You are getting a certain vibe. You have picked up on some markings that are clearly there but well hidden. And you're looking around like, all right, well, how would you mark it? I mean, I assume much like any establishment, if they want you to know where their door is, you're going to find it. So you're looking around. You've seen some markings. It might even be good for you to split up and look for it.
all right.
I am going to cast the trees have eyes, the hills have ears. What is it called? Hold on. Where's my spooky moves? Sorry. The trees have eyes.
Okay.
So I'm going to cast the trees have eyes right where we park the car,
Okay.
where we split it up on the hill.
Mm-hmm.
Bernard, if you find something, come back here and I will know. If I find something, I won't be back. You find me.
Good teamwork. Glad we
Yeah.
worked that out.
He's like, all right, that's confusing enough. And I think
If you
he
find nothing, you will know you've went the wrong way. Come in this direction.
Now it's noonish. Well, it's a little after that. We started earlier, but we've gotten a little bit into the day. We've done some driving around. We've had some conversation. Okay. Cemeteries tend to have joggers. They tend to have mourners. They tend to have people in them. First cemetery was still early enough. That wasn't really something we needed to think about, but it's getting a little later in the day. People are kind of starting to show up to do their thing. Orpheus, do you realize that this is a enchantment time, or are you just going to go about your business?
Not had to enchant myself well enough, to intrinsically know that without direction, I ain't doing a damn thing.
All right.
Yeah, and gosh, I hate this. Feels like metagaming to me, but I do feel like Bernard probably would have said something.
I think Bernard would be aware of the situation.
The question
hey, bud,
is,
want to do something about that?
would you call after him, or would you fuck with the normies and just like, let's make some trouble? Why not? Like, your character is so on that line of professionalism, but still like, what kind of fun can I have? Where it's like, I mean, shit, at most it's one charm from one agent. I mean, as long as nobody takes a picture, but still. Like, how professional is Bernard feeling today? Does he yell after him?
I think just because I don't want more buzz around this area. Like,
and you've already pissed the boss off twice today.
Yeah, and I don't want people investigating it because there's like literally like ghouls that live here. So I think he would, as he's walking away, be like, "Hey, you got that grinder on you? This would probably be a good time to do that."
Bernard, you are always looking out for me, you sly fox.
Yeah, well, or I'm looking out for myself. But either way, just
because you were put in charge here. She was like, if you think you can handle them on your own, go out and do you.
I like how she's got a millennial-old vampire, but she's worried about the 2-century tree man. Like, oh, this guy.
Well, over a millennial vampire's figured out how to survive on his own. You've been out of the swamp for a month. And most of it you've spent arguing with a bee in the arboretum. A drunk bee. Now, not the direction I thought it would go in, but that's where we are.
I will twist my grinder to affix myself like to remind those at home, a long-haired ponytail Frenchman. I will remind Bernard on my way out, again, if you do not find anything, come this way.
Seems simple
enough. And I assume I'll take off to the east, or if he's going west, I'm going east, or whatever.
Yeah, I guess he can go east, I can go west, and we'll just kind of...
All right, you guys kind of split up your own directions. As you're going forward, Bernard, I need you to make me a cool roll. Not Bernard, sorry, I apologize. Orpheus, make me a cool roll.
Cool. 8 minus 1, 7.
Okay. You get an unsettled feeling. It's not like it's your Peter Tingle for our Marvel friends. You get this sensation that there's a direction you need to be walking in. Do you follow this sensation in your chest to that place, or would you fight it and keep doing your own thing?
Is it east?
Roughly, maybe northeastern more.
East-ish? Okay.
Like, it's not going to make you turn around and go the other way, but it's not like where you set forward.
No, I'm absolutely going to follow my Peter Tingle.
Okay, all right, that works. Hopefully we don't get sued by Disney for using that, but I feel it's a decent explanation of what you're feeling.
Yeah.
We'll call it your Orpheus Tingle. Your tingle. All right, so you will start heading in that direction, and in the distance, you see a man digging a grave. He's an African-American gentleman. He is wearing clothing that generally one might not consider wise for digging a grave. He seems to be wearing something like a suit and a top hat. And as you approach closer, you can hear him singing. And it's a weird chicken in a cone can't grow a fuzzy one string.
Yes.
If you guys haven't heard him,
my brain went to what was that stupid movie? He was like, the wrong kid died.
Chicken in a cone, so the cone can't grow, mama.
That song's awesome.
And so you hear him singing to himself. Like, he's not being loud and belligerent, but he is singing to himself. What do you do? That is clearly the direction. What you have with you, this mask that you're carrying, is guiding you to Tuba.
Tuba is okay. Garçon. Are you lost? Ça va?
The man in the grave continues to shovel. He's not quite addressing you yet, but he responds with, "Motherfucker, you gonna call me boy? Is that some kind of racist thing? I speak enough French to know what you just said to me."
I apologize. There is no disrespect to what I say. I call all those I do not know as such.
I recommend you make a fucking change in the way you do things in this world, huh? You been around long enough. I recognize that, so you're in my light. Take a step to the left. And he keeps shoveling, but he hasn't looked at you yet. Roll to act under pressure. Let's see how you're handling this person talking to you like your old friends.
That's going to be cool as well.
That's
correct?
your cool. Yep.
That's experience, baby. That's a 4.
That means you get to level up, as I recall.
As you recall correctly.
You are completely lost as to why he's speaking to you in this manner, and it's legitimate confusion. You are here because Tituba has placed you here. You don't know what's happening. The man in the grave, sensing your confusion, stops and finally looks up at you. Motherfucker, been 300 years and you still this swamp thing, huh? You may have got away from me once, but I know where your grave is. I dug it once, and that is where you are going to end up, whether you like it or not. It is good to see you up and about. Papa Legba may have taken you from me once, but eventually you all wind up in the ground.
Does Utuba respond to any capacity when he says Legba? Do I feel anything?
No more than
Given
you
that
already have. No more than you've already sensed. She has guided you here. That is where you are at with her.
Okay. You are right. I have no business above the ground any more than I do below it.
I would say otherwise. You some bitch belong on the ground in the pool I supposed to put you in. But I let it go. And by the way, this outfit you put on don't mean I don't recognize you. Once you are supposed to be where you go, it don't matter what you gonna do, I always recognize you.
I wish I could say the same of you. You speak as though you know me. But who are you?
Child, I know everybody who supposed to come to me. That's why I'm here digging this grave. Don't matter where they die, if they a practitioner of what I sell out, they go where they go. It is good to see you in one piece, though. I may put you in ground, but that does not mean I have your will. That was your deal, not mine. He begins to climb up out of the grave. He is clearly now interested in your conversation. Quick pause. Bernard, I need you to roll. Give me a cool roll.
Okay.
Again, you're walking around, you're looking, so you can either investigate a mystery or cool. That's your choice for now. Eventually, you will do both rolls.
Okay. Well, that's a 3, so which one of those rolls do I not care about the most?
Should have picked first, you monster. It is, you have no idea. There's no clues here.
Okay.
Like, you can't figure out where the hell you're supposed to go for these ghouls. Now make a cool roll.
An 8. Oh, and that was another point, too.
Ooh, Bernard just showed up to play. That's an 8 at least.
Yeah. That's an 8, and it would be plus what?
Cool.
That would be your cool roll.
Okay, so plus 2, so a 10.
Okay. So now you completely notice that your friend is talking to a man in a top hat above a grave. You're far enough that you can't hear anything, but you can see an interaction. What's your first thought?
Well, and I have, like we said, some knowledge of Samity. Like, would I be? Does he? In my mind, I can roll for it. I can investigate a mystery. Like
Ask your question first, then we'll see if it's worth the roll.
Based off what I know of, it's Baron Samity, right? Or is it just Samity? Or is that mixing lore? Is that something else?
I don't know, then investigate a mystery, I guess. We'll do that.
Okay.
I don't know from this range if you would instantly just be like, oh, that's him. It's from what you can tell, it's an African American gentleman overdressed for grave digging from this range.
Okay.
Would you give him any plus or minus to that, Sam? At that distance, I would have to think that he would take a -1 on an investigate at that distance. Or because he's already heard it once today, would we call that even? That
was my thought when you said that. I was like, well, I could give him a -1, but you've already got the Baron on your mind.
Right.
Because the other ghoul mentioned it, because as a ghoul, if there are any practitioners of that faith, he would be the one who shows up and digs their grave for them. So he kind of comes and goes where he's needed.
Yeah, and that's kind of why, like, I didn't want to metagame too much, but that's where when Bernard said, I have a feeling we'll find out. It seemed, knowing what he knows about him. Well, knowing what he knows, like, I don't think we would be hearing about him unless he was around.
It was relevant.
That's the storyteller in you.
Yeah.
Where it's, like, that's Chekhov's gun. Sam's not going to bring up Baron Samity if he's not going to make something happen.
Yeah, so I'll go ahead and roll for this. And that's a 6, and it would be plus what again?
That's investigative mystery, so it's your sharp.
Sharp, so 0. So
true 6.
As of right now, it's just a stranger talking to him in a cemetery. Which, again, as the lead of said team, where's your mindset go? Let him go or start walking that way in case something goes wrong? Trust, or maybe I'll have to clean up a mess if I don't go over there.
I think it's trust, and I'm not going to interfere, but I think I'll start looking for clues, but I don't want to lose eyesight of him. Like, I think I'm going to continue to look, but I'm going to continue to try to look and make sure that nothing happens.
Okay. We will cut back to conversation. I just wanted to check in. Who our audience is now aware is Baron Samity is standing next to you.
It's nice to see you a whole person again. I realize when you lose the one you shagging up with, sometimes you forget who you are.
He reaches out and he touches your chest. And without any will on your part, your body starts to open to expose the mask within. He reaches into you, grabs the mask, and then covers his own face with it.
Do you still love me, husband of mine? You still care about me? You won't see me again.
He is mocking you, by the way. This is not a religious moment. That is not the mask talking to you.
You clearly know me, and I have no qualm with you, and you can see through this ruse. But if you want to keep our qualms free, you will return this mask. I don't know you, but I will know you very intimately very soon, if you do not fall.
I am sorry, I am not one for intimacy with the trees. You are looking at the wrong lower for that. You have an offering for me? Maybe I tell you something you don't know. Maybe you learn a little bit about you.
I don't know what you may want, but I feel my friend over there can offer you plenty.
You cannot rely on your friends for all of your answers, boy. You're gonna have to figure it out on your own.
He hands you the mask back. His teasing is done.
Clearly I am dealing with someone who does not understand the world they are dealing with. I suppose teasing you about the dead was unfair. However, Legba taking you from me after our deal was unfair, so perhaps I have every right to be pissed off at you, Cho Champa, getting out of your deal.
I don't think I'm carrying anything that would be of particular interest to him. I guess I would...
Make me a sharp roll. Just a straight sharp roll.
8 sharp is plus 1, 9.
As you take that mask back into your hands, you remember that little cabin that you saw a little ways back when you and the mask first had your moment. You remember smoke in the air. You remember tobacco. You remember cigars. You remember offerings.
I don't think I'm carrying a cigar, though, as memory serves. Thank you, baby.
I love you, Rob, but you're a tree person. Just grow it on you.
Okay, thank you. I guess I'll grow some fresh tobacco and some banana leaf that I will kind of let dry out to wrap said tobacco. I will make the finest Cubano that I am capable of producing on such quick notice.
All right, make a weird roll for that. I would have just been okay if you handed in tobacco leaves, but if you want to take it the extra mile, I'm in. Make me a weird roll. How well are you in control of yourself? And because this is plant life, your ability to make it, grow it, drain it, dry it is all magic based. So we're gonna give you at least a +1.
If you're giving me a +1, that'll be a 10. But I didn't pass my cool roll, and I kind of snapped on him. I don't know if you want to react to that in any capacity.
No, not yet. He is forgiving, considering he's half the reason you're in this position. He's not going to punish you for being ignorant yet. So you manage to, and on an area of your person, grow these different plants. Your ability to magically dry them out, to take some of the nutrients needed to make a dry, smokable tobacco, and then roll it. Admittedly, you're basically handing him the equivalent of a giant joint in the middle. I mean, this is hand-rolled. It's not pretty, but it is what it is. And with this, he smiles.
You see, that is why every man need a woman. She remembers all of the details when the man you forget. I tell you this now. If you want to figure out who you are, because it ain't going to be from me. As far as I'm concerned, the man you were dead. But if you want to remember who you were, you're going to have to go to the intermediary. Papa Legba put you on the right path. He the one that gonna show you the world as you should know it. But I've got work to do, and a soul that need to be put in the ground. I respect if you walk away from my grave now.
I will. I have so many questions and so much frustration, but I'm just gonna walk away.
And as you walk away, he starts to sing his song again. Chicken in a comb, so the comb can't grow, mama. And I don't even know if that's particularly Louisianian, but that's kind of how I picture that character, where that would be a song he'd sing. It's not traditional, it's not sad, but being around death all the time, being kind of the guy who takes people in and says, nope, I dug your grave, this is where you go, your story's done, get in.
Yeah, he's an ominous character, but it doesn't bother him. He's
for him, it's not graveyards is it. I mean, most of his lore is based around that he's lecherous, he curses, and he deals with the dead. He can make deals. On American Horror Story, they combined Baron Samedi and Papa Legba's characters. Legba's much more friendly and smiles, and he's much more the intermediary, as you will need to know going forward. But for any of our listeners who may not be aware, that is part of that voodoo and hoodoo religion, is traditionally you summon Legba first, and then he is the intermediary that guides you to where you need to go. He is a symbol of life, traditionally seen as an older black gentleman with a straw hat and white clothing. Just sort of an info dump for funsies, because sometimes when you know things, you just want to tell people.
Well, and I think that's good backstory on what's happening around us. So I will say real quick, I was doing the math and how many moves and stuff I have. So I had leveled up once, so I had the one other move. So I kind of put the other points together. So I did just level up again.
All right, what'd you take?
And I probably should have did that, but I wanted to talk about it first.
Nope, you're fair. You're good. I trust you.
And make sure that sounded right.
No, I'm okay with it. Like I said, I unfortunately am not the greatest GM as far as keeping track of when you guys level up, because normally it's in the middle of something.
That is not true. He is the greatest GM.
No, I am. I have been, my thing is I enjoy telling stories, and I like my players and want them to have fun and do well. And everything else that I'm bad at tends to get glossed over a touch by my loving players. But we're in a bit of a tough spot, because you do need to pick. I think you both need to pick your level up. Because I know Rob Orpheus was like one away, and we discussed it a bit. What'd you wind up picking?
I have elected to go with the sight, which will allow me to see the invisible, but particularly spirits and magical influence. I can communicate with and possibly even make deals with any spirits that I can see. They give me more opportunities to spot clue when investigating a mystery.
Well, look at that.
How convenient that we're
How
at a
convenient.
cemetery.
I didn't know that was going to happen. I like that, though. All right, so as you are walking away from this man in the grave, you pick your level up, and he is coming to you. So it gives you a minute to figure out what you'd like to do and let us know, so we all kind of know what you're working with. Eventually, I'm going to give you guys a blank character sheet my brother's designed. That so you don't have 8 pages you've got to look through. You've got just your sheet, and then when you need to look for things, you can find it. It is in the works. I will be shipping it to Colorado with your Anarium folder.
So much better than this OneNote I'm using.
So I think what I'm gonna do, I can, if that's okay.
No, go ahead. You're fine.
Is knocking on heaven's door. And so while I am unstable, I deal an additional 2 harm on all attacks.
All right. So you're looking to push that limit.
Yeah.
Being that. Okay.
Yeah, I felt it makes sense within character, because he typically is kind of putting him. He's not a tank, but he treats himself that way.
He's got half a death wish.
Yeah.
Where it's, I don't really want to die, but I'm not afraid to put myself in a position where, like, hey, if this is it, this is it. Fuck it. I had a life.
Yeah, and kind of looking for that, like, I want to find the thing that can take me down.
Yeah.
Like that kind of a thing.
Fits the character well.
Are you going straight Spartan looking for a glorious death?
Pretty much, yeah. Like he wants to go. He's ready to go out, but he wants to. You're gonna have to take it.
It's it's the Doc Holliday mentality from Tombstone, where it's, I don't want to die. I want to die with my boots on.
Yeah.
It's I'm done. My life isn't the best. I mean, you've lost a lot as a character that we haven't fully discussed yet, which is in the works. Calm down, audience. It is in the works, so they can understand that you have lost a lot, and as a character you've dealt with so much where it's, I wouldn't mind dying, but I'm also not going to curl up and die. I'm going to walk. Even if everything else comes to play, I want to go out with my boots on, not 90 years old.
Yeah, and I think it plays well with the other move, too, to where seems like I'm going to fail it quite often because of charm, which is, it's not my strong suit, and it's based off of that. So start talking shit, start getting attacked, but the more you attack me, now I am going to hit you back harder. So I think it fits.
So you want with talk shit, get hit. Got it.
Yeah, more or less. I like it, though. It fits that character so well. Especially in our setting where it's like you're surrounded by monsters who are tougher and stronger than you are, our human connection.
Yeah.
To remind us that this shit's scary. These are monsters. I mean, they don't get called monsters because they deal with their problems with cookies and sternly worded letters.
Right.
I mean,
right. Yeah.
All right. So, Orpheus, as you are walking toward Bernard, you can kind of see him. He's off in the distance. You're dealing with a lot right now. And I promise this may be the last time you have to do this. I need you to roll act under pressure. Give me a cool roll.
Cool. Which dice do I want? We're going with red on red. Let's go. 8, cool, -1, 7.
You are startled by the sheer number of things you are seeing now that you did not see before that conversation.
If I may?
Before you get...
Yep.
You are seeing various people in various time frames of clothing. People who did not have something per se at home to connect their spirit to are connected to their body. People who really weren't ready to die, that were dealing with something, chose not to move on. But some of these graves...
I'm actively seeing this?
Yes.
Like it's in front of me?
They are around you.
Okay.
And I mean, this isn't, you're not at Warped Tour. This isn't like a fucking rock band in front of a room and you're surrounded in a crowd. But you went from dude digging a grave and a lady jogging with her dog to 10 to 15 people now mulling around the cemetery in various states of dress and possibly decay, depending on how that spirit is dealing with being dead.
Oh, okay, this is my level up I'm seeing.
This is your level up. This is how I am. Okay. This is the first time you're dealing with seeing the dead around you, because the cemetery would have that. There would be spirits there, depending on what religion you believe in. I know numerous of the Wiccans and pagans that I've met have frequently told me that cemeteries often have lost souls kind of mulling around and keeping an eye on things. I don't know where I fall in all of that belief, but I do respect that belief. So we will use that in that there are people there. None of them are violent. Nobody's like, at most, there's a kid making faces at you because now you can see him.
So I'm somewhat able to see purgatory is what I'm hearing.
That is not purgatory.
Okay.
Purgatory is a place. You are seeing the people that never moved on. And in our world, for our canon, it is the people that either chose or did not know how to move on, or went, I want to keep an eye on my family. Well, that was 200 years ago. They're no longer connected. I mean, how long can you reliably watch your loved ones die before eventually you go, you know what, I'm going to haunt my body. It's there. It still exists. It's my bones. It's my genetics. Yes, I could technically haunt this grandfather clock that's been in my family, that's still in my family, but I don't know these people. I'm getting angry. I want out of this house. I have a choice to make. And they went to haunt their body instead, where now you're in the open. There are other spirits there. There are people you can talk to and interact with. I like to think that that's an option, being an optimist about death. I mean, we get in all that, some personal podcast, but for now, you're seeing ghosts.
Okay.
Like Sam Darnold.
He started the season so strong.
That's a football joke, Sam.
What was it?
There was a quarterback who was mic'd up during a game, and he was getting hit a shit ton, and then he started making mistakes, and he said, I'm seeing ghosts out there. And he's been terrorized for saying that ever since, because, you don't want the leader of your football team telling him that he... Yeah, anyways.
Sports ball! Woo! Sorry, I respect sports, and I can watch a sport other than soccer and appreciate in baseball. I'm sorry, I can't. I apologize to any listener that loves them. I'm not saying it's a bad sport. I'm just saying I cannot appreciate it.
Oh, you're fine. Nobody appreciates Sam Darnold.
I can sit and watch a game, but it's not really my thing. So sports ball. All right, so Rob, what are we gonna do with some of these spirits you're seeing about?
I think that I would be very overwhelmed with the situation, with the meeting, and I probably want to remove myself from that. With that in mind, I'm going to walk over to Bernard, who I assume if I'm in his eye line, he's in mine.
Yes.
Yeah, I was going to say, from afar, once I saw him kind of climb back in the hole, and and if Orpheus started making his way towards me, I was going to kind of not beeline, but kind of
get there.
Yeah.
I assume from afar is no more than each of us want no further than 75 yards
it's
in the
not
direction
much.
we're headed.
With how you hadn't been split up that long, you guys didn't really go in your directions too long.
Yeah, so 400, 500 feet is roughly what I assume the distance between us is.
You're looking at like an 8-minute walk to get back to each other if you take your time.
Yeah.
With a little haste, a little post haste, I'm going to walk well past the median and towards Bernard. And when I approach him,
What we seek is not that way. But I must tell you, I can see much more now. Let's continue in the direction you were traveling.
All right. What do you mean you can see much more now? It didn't really get any brighter out here or anything.
is there anything in this direction? Am I seeing a spirit?
The ghosts are still about. You have not chosen to interact with them yet. So,
Am I seeing a spirit over closer to where Bernard is now?
there's a kid that's like dancing around Bernard and making faces at him. Just a kid, unfortunate, passed away young, and he's just trying to entertain himself a bit with this super serious, angry hunter man.
Do the spirits see me in my true form the way that I was just seen by?
Much like Marcellus, they are seeing a shadow of what you actually are.
Okay.
In the same space as what is being seen. They know that you are not a normal human, but it is not obvious to them exactly what you are.
Okay. And I guess with Bernard not seeing this, I'll say to the kid,
Garçon, I am happy that you find much joy in where you are. But can you tell me, where lies the mausoleum? And in the direction, can you point me to it?
I don't know, man. That's what we're out here fucking looking for.
definitely wasn't talking to Bernard, but past him. Love it. Yep.
The child stops teasing Bernard, suddenly realizes you are speaking to him, and looks at you for a minute, kind of gets like a little kid smirk on his face, does the come on gesture, and then he just starts walking toward where some mausoleums are.
I'm just going to continue walking, and if I shoulder check Bernard, I do, but on the way I'll say, follow.
I think Bernard just like you're getting a little too confident out here these days. And I just kind of shuffle my feet, falling behind him, like, I thought I was leading this mission. What the fuck happened?
The child takes you to one of those very, very large mausoleums that are more modern, where it has numerous burial areas in stone. It's gonna call it a hotel rather than per se a mausoleum, where numerous bodies are kept, and you can either pay your respects outside or inside, where it's the name, the date, possibly an image, but there's stacks, like it's 8 tall, whether it's inside or outside. But that is where he is leading you, a more modern mausoleum that allows better usage of the space, if not kind of taking away from some of the care. I don't know, I don't want to offend anyone. I don't know if we have a gravedigger who listens or someone who runs, but it's better use of space, but sometimes it feels a little less personal when you go into to mourn someone you've lost.
I love how Cameron just answered you no, as if he knows each and every one of our listeners personally. I don't know if we have a gravedigger. No, we don't. Nobody cares about the dead in this podcast.
Well, no,
I
that was
assure
more of
you.
what would it be? Like a yeah, no. I saw there was like a description on there. It was like, yeah means yeah, no means no. Yeah, no means
I think that's what I'm saying. I think
means
that's how I took
no,
it.
and no,
yeah.
means yeah.
I
Yeah,
think
no,
it's
yeah.
Australian subtext.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
introduce a character that only talks with yeah, no, yeah, no, yeah, no, yeah, and you guys are just gonna have to figure out what the fuck it means.
Yeah. From the back of this little line we have here, I think Bernard's just gonna be like, I'm guessing you're going all Swayze on me, and Henry VIII up there's taking you to where we need to go. Is that? Do I understand this right?
I apologize. I did not explain what I mean when I say I see more. But that man up there revealed something in me. I now understand things in a way I did not before. I don't understand how I understand, but I do.
All
I
right.
believe this is the mausoleum we need to see.
And I respect everybody, but just so you know, I don't swing that way.
I have no idea what the fuck you are talking about, Bernard.
So, mausoleum. This is the one.
The child leads you in, points to the door. Kind of just like gives the head nod of like, yep, this is it. And then he dissipates. He leaves.
Probably wouldn't give a cigar to a kid, would we agree?
Agreed. That is very much
A deceased child, but
tobacco is very big in certain religions as offerings. It's what you did was deeply religious in what it was. I know like Native Americans viewed tobacco as a way to send prayers, as it was a solid air. They would smoke it, and that was a prayer they could send up. As I understand it, I could be way off. I would love for a listener to correct me if I am, but that is how they kind of prayed. It was generally like with Baron Samedi, it's an offering. You're giving him something that, in his time when those religions were being kind of started, wasn't as common as it is now. I don't believe, because that was a very old religion. And where it starts. So the kind of like alcohol, the things that we enjoy as people, they also enjoy as Loa, and offering it to them kind of opens them up to you.
okay.
So you are in this mausoleum. There's not a lot in here. If you could both roll to investigate a mystery.
Okay.
To kind of get a guideway, a point of interest.
That is XP, baby.
Whew.
That's an 8 for me.
Okay. You, being a little bit more experienced, do you have a question or do you want me to guide you there? Was there something you would look for in specific?
I think Bernard has enough experience that he would kind of know what he's looking for. So I think, I think I would like to. I don't know if it's a question or a.
Just want to say I love how I just met one of my deities, and now I can talk to Ghost, and Bernard's just rolling with those punches. Like, yeah, that's cool.
He's been doing this for 20 years, bud. That's not even the most interesting thing that happened today.
Yeah, I mean, he asked, and
I almost feel like the question should be like, so do you want to tell me what the fuck that was all about?
I don't think Bernard likes to be pried into, and I don't think he likes to pry. So he asked.
Totally makes sense.
And that was the answer you gave, and he's like, all right, fine, let's
I accept that. Yeah.
we'll keep going. So I think he's just looking for there's probably some sort of a sign that he would understand. Maybe it's you can see where something's been pulled out more often than something would be pulled out. Yeah, he's looking for a giveaway.
As you are walking through this mausoleum, it is fairly large. It is L-shaped. And as you round the corner, you notice that whoever designed this particular building was real into gargoyles. On the tops, there's a little bit of space. There's light coming in through windows in the ceiling, sunroof. Not really. That's in a vehicle. For some reason, a skylight.
Yeah.
Sorry, pardon me. A skylight, lights coming in. But where the tops of these marble placements are, there are gargoyles looking down in the right heart of things and protecting those in, scaring evil away. But for you, how do you feel about that?
Like we said, or I said in the beginning, I think he's dealt with it enough now. It no longer enrages him to see them. He's done enough, taken his anger out probably on a guy at a bar or a monster. So I think it definitely registers with him. But like I said, he probably just flips one off like he did, or when he jumped at the ones that were at the at Pine Brook, kind of checking them. I think that's just kind of his behavior. He just kind of, probably nothing too he's not going to give too much away. He's not going to cry or get angry or why.
That's fair.
I think he's just, like I said, probably just flip one off, keep it moving.
I think Orpheus is again gonna take stock of that, but has his own shit to unpack to do anything about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
As you guys continue to the end of the short hallway, there is actually a place where some smaller ceremonies have occurred, and there is a raised dais, depending on how fancy you want to be.
I never know how to say that word.
I've heard
Even
it
when
done
I
as
read it, I
both.
say dais.
Dais? I don't know. It's interesting. I should probably look it up. I don't know. But you see it, and you, having rolled as well as you have, notice that there are a few, we'll say, dog-shaped mud tracks on the marble floor. Not a ton. I mean, they're smart. I mean, obviously, the ghouls are smart enough to clean up after themselves.
Yeah.
But wherever this entry point is, it is near this area. And given your experience, maybe standing on the dais and stomping your foot a few times might announce your presence.
Just really want to. This whole time I've wanted to make an Ace of Base joke. He saw the sign. It opened up his eyes. He saw the sign.
If we were going to do it, we should have done it when you could start seeing ghosts.
I know. I
sign.
couldn't work it in.
He opened
calmly.
up his eyes. He saw the sign.
I just couldn't work it in appropriately. But I wanted everyone to know that I recognized it. I just didn't know how to do it.
Just didn't have it, and that's fair. That's not the best situation.
That's fair. So I think that is what he's gonna do, is kind of step up on the diet, like, and just kind of tap his foot, maybe even say like, looking for Sharon. Anybody know a Sharon?
You
Just
should
kind of
hit the
talking.
electric slide. One hop this time. Two hop this time. Crisscross.
Very similar to the mausoleum that you were in before. You wait 2 or 3 minutes, a little bit quicker this time. That dais, it's numerous pieces of marble. One, see, slightly lifts, as if there's been a cutout to look out. You are seen. It closes, and then opens much like a chest, where it opens back up. The doorway is large, and standing in front of you is another ghoul. This ghoul is wearing an old cheerleader's pom-pom on her head, like a wig. The handle is gone, so don't think it's like sticking up, fool-looking, but that it is a bright orange pom-pom that she is wearing on her head as she looks at you.
Right. I don't have a badge or anything, right?
Oh, you guys would have badges. You can show it to her. That doesn't mean it'll mean anything.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. So,
with our more modern monsters, they're like, shit, it's an Arium. But
That's-
for her,
so I think I'm looking at her and I'm like, my name is
Are we
Bernard.
lockstep this time? Like shoulder to shoulder?
your call. Where would you be?
I wouldn't mind being lockstep unless Bernard very much wants to take a physical lead.
No, I mean, in my mind, like, we were close. Like, I don't think we're like holding hands, but like, like we're
Why not?
We're arms reached
Yeah.
side by side, right?
yeah, we're close. And I think I just kind of I don't know where my badge would be, but I pull it out, whether it's in my shirt or my pocket, and I kind of say like, my name's Bernard, and this here is Orpheus. You ever seen? You know what this is? I'm just kind of like.
Maybe as an aside.
She slams the lid shut. But you're not sensing anger. It's almost a give me a minute.
Okay. So I think I just kind of look at Orpheus like, I think she's coming back.
Maybe as an aside and like whispering into my hand, like towards his direction. I know people at home can't see what I'm doing, but Sam can. Like, whispering in my shoulder and my hand to the side, like, are you really sure you should be the one doing the speaking, Bernard?
Speaking's probably one of my least favorite things to do. So if you would like to take over, that's fine with me. Just, I mean, you see, they got pom-poms and shit on their head, man. Just be easy.
Bernard, I am a talking tree. I do not care for these pom-poms.
Oh, yeah, I guess we hadn't really talked much about football and basketball and those kind of things. And yeah, we'll get into that later. It's, we'll watch, damn, what was the name of that movie?
Bring it on.
Yeah, okay, so I'm gonna stop. We'll watch Bring It On later. Well, it'll explain a lot.
The door opens back up. the same ghoul from before is there. What she has in her hands kind of looks like a potted plant that has grown enough that it's very small. It's not very big, but it has something of a face to it. This is a magical type of plant that is rare. It grows, but it can act as your intermediary. The plant looks up at you and goes,
Welcome. How can I be of any form of assistance?
Well, Bernard, how apropos. We are here to work out an arrangement, if you are open to such.
the little plant, because I'm not going to keep doing it, turns and does the barks and the growls, and she sets the plant down on the floor now. She's no longer holding him. She understands that this is a meeting. She does her a string of her sounds and communicates to this plant, and it turns to you, and it goes,
Sharon is open to an understanding of some kind of deal. But you haven't really given us any idea of why you're here and what kind of deal you want to make.
I must apologize. As my friend said, he is Bernard and I am Orpheus. We were at St. Michael, and food has become very limited there, but space is plentiful. Perhaps a commingling may be best for all. Is this an idea that you find agreeable? And what terms may you present otherwise?
roll charm someone. I don't know if that's what it's called, but that's what you're doing.
Yeah, no, it's charm.
Charm person. Manipulate someone. I mean, it seems a little negative for what we're doing, but it is it.
That's XP.
Oh,
With
that's fun. With a 3? Like, not even close?
Not even close. Yeah, that's a true 3.
The plant turns, and it speaks to Sharon. Sharon answers it. It turns back around, and it goes,
It's not really our problem. I'm cleaning that up a lot. It's not our problem. They're not our people. We have no need to help them in any way. Giving food from our younglings to theirs doesn't really help our younglings. I believe the term she may have used was fuck off. But I'm still learning this. I was planted here because of Venarium for communication purposes.
All right. Well, if you're familiar with us, and you're familiar with what we do, then you would know that we wouldn't be here if this wasn't an issue. And that's going to need to be resolved one way or the other. Is there anything that they can do for you, or that we can do for you, to make it your problem?
And to add to that, I do believe Sharon does not see the bigger picture. This more established clan can teach much that you do not yet know, as I can teach you what you do not know, Mr.
What does this plant have a name?
you haven't asked for it. Would you ask for him?
As I can teach you, garçon.
Fair. I need Bernard to manipulate someone roll.
Okay.
To see where this is going to go for him.
That's a 6, and it would be charm.
Charm.
Now, if Orpheus wants to help him on that roll.
Well, that'd be a 4 for me because of the -2.
Oh, you're at some okay, yeah, no. All right, so he turns and he does the barks and the communication. And he turns back around after her string of more angry growls.
You're insulting her by insinuating she does not understand what you're saying, and I would be real careful about that in the future, because she's not as friendly as the ones over at St. Michael. Just because Sharon's, she just doesn't take a lot of shit, so maybe watch out for that. She feels as though you're insulting her and threatening her at the same time. I don't think you've done this very well.
I think he just kind of nods and he's like, all right, do you have a name? What was your name?
Well, me and my other seedlings, we started from mandrake roots. Traditionally, the cry of a mandrake killed people, but if they allowed us to mature and enchanted us a bit, we could work as interpreters. You can call me Drake.
All right, Drake. Well, I'm going to go call my superior. And I'm going to be honest, I don't know what's going to happen. But I know that something needs to happen, otherwise these other families, clans, are going to start venturing out and finding food, and eventually it will be your problem. But we don't want it to go that far. I'm going to go call my superior and see if there's not a more peaceful resolution that we can find.
Drake turns. He kind of gives your answer, and as she starts growling, snarling, and barking, she just slams the door shut. This time it is a "fuck you, I'm not coming back" door slam.
Okay. But left the plant?
He went with her.
Okay.
He is her little buddy. He is her
I thought he was going to be sitting there
intermediary.
She'll come back for me eventually, I hope.
We're done speaking. I don't need this anymore.
Jeez.
Well,
Hopefully they don't eat the messenger.
I say, well, my man, I don't think that went too well. Let's,
Bernard, I have not known you for honest diplomacy before. This area, would you argue it is overrun with ghouls? Perhaps too many that need dealt with?
well, if you ask
Do
me,
you want to...
any is too many, but some of them are easier to deal with than others, and I gotta say, she's not one of my favorites. So, if we were to come back, and we're asked to be a little forceful, I don't think I'd mind. But let's go call Emily. I'm not gonna call any shots here.
I love the fact.
Marcellus would.
Oh, burn. I love the fact that your reasoning showed care toward the other ghouls while still hiding a threat. It's just a very Bernard moment.
Yeah.
Where it's like they need help. And for your character as we know him, that's actually a lot of character growth, because it's not just, fuck it, they need help. You're either going to or you're not. I don't give a shit. It was, they've got families and you should help if you can. And then that veiled threat of, I'm going to call my boss and see what, I love that. That was great.
Like, because they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. They're not harming people. They're starving and they're still not hurting people. So they're doing what they need to do. So I'll help them if I can. And if it's one or the other, I'd rather work with them.
I think we both like Lothos better.
Yeah. So yeah, I think I'm gonna head outside, and again,
Okay.
yeah,
Right.
and I think he's like, you know what? When did I start calling her, asking her what to do all the time? We're gonna handle this on our own. And he turns back around, and he is gonna stomp on that until someone comes back.
Just nonstop.
You're going to have a few visitors very concerned with why you're stomping on this floor. Like just random mourners here to say, their piece to their loved ones, kind of looking at you like you're a fucking crazy man. But eventually, little lid pops, closes, pops all the way up. Little voice pops in.
We see that you're still here. What do you guys want? I thought we were done. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I thought so too, and I was gonna call the big bosses and have them come up with some diplomatic solution, but then I thought, fuck that. Here's what I propose to you. And scene. That's right. you're going to have to listen to the next one if you want to know what the offer was. So thank you again for joining in for Anarium, to Anarium, listening to Anarium, whatever. However you are enjoying this podcast, we really appreciate it. And I really do genuinely hope that you guys are enjoying this little character development arc that we're doing for a couple of our characters. Remember, follow us on social media, share it, talk to your friends, comment, all the things. Help us out. Tell everyone how awesome we are, and we really appreciate it. And if you have any suggestions on how we could be more awesome, remember, on those social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, all those, we have our website and our email, and you can get a hold of us and let us know what we can do to be more awesome. So thank you all again for listening. Tune in to the next episode to see the conclusion of this arc.